This video is basically free elo. If you just do exactly what I'm saying in this video, you're going to be a completely different person, all right? Everybody keeps asking me like, how do I actually improve in chess? What do I need to do? And I'm like, what do you need to do? It's what do you need to actually stop doing in your games? And I'm going to be covering it all in this video. Key hacks, the methods that I've used to really elevate my gameplay and become a chess master, guys. So take notes and we're getting right into it. You guys need to understand active play. Not hear it, understand it. It's black to play in this position, what would you play? Also realize that white is up a clean piece, what would you do? Now most persons, they're really focused on their own plans and they're trying to checkmate here and they're like, what's up? Even like rook to h2, not a bad idea. It's literally threatening checkmate in tool. I'm just showing you, like rook takes rook and queen to g1, just like that. Checkmate on the board, but it is allowing counterplay like q to d. Let me just make a good move. Q to d7 and white starts to get some counterplay on your king. Now the thing is, you guys need to understand activity. So we're going to be utilizing what we call the box method. So this is our half of the board and this is our opponent's side of the board, guys. You could take a screenshot of this. I'm going to be going more into detail. You want as many of your pieces to be attacking squares into that area or outright just infiltrating over there. That's how you start to put pressure on your opponents. While at the same time, you need to start kicking pieces or keeping pieces from infiltrating into your side of the board. A lot of persons are really defensive when it comes on to chess. You need to switch out of that mindset and always think offensive. Now here, I'm not worried about defensive pieces. This rook, even though it's worth 5 points, has nowhere to go. This rook is passive. This is up a whole bishop and it's again defending. If a piece is just playing a defensive role, it doesn't have time to attack us. You cannot practice to play chess with passive pieces. So we have two pieces crossing over. What would you play for black? And here, this move, rook to d8. Next thing, you need to understand that when you have active pieces, the person with the more active pieces, tactics will start to favor that player. All right? Just to show you, if this rook is captured, then q to f1 is checkmate. Why is this so? Because we have pieces pointing in that direction, we're controlling squares in that area. White's pieces are now forced to play defensive roles and then we can overload them. All right? We have two pieces doing tremendous work. We brought a third. This queen cannot take the rook, and if it stays and guards the square, just understand that again, tactics will start to flow. Rook takes d2. And as you can see, the queen is now pinned to the king. And again, if this is captured, then q to f1 is indeed checkmate. We switched from defensive to offensive. We're not like, oh my god, he's threatening a check, king to e8. We're not thinking defensive. We're trying to find our most aggressive way to play the position. If you're again up a piece, activate the piece. Don't just sit and try to defend your way out. We're getting into the next one, guys. Let's go. You guys know I like to give tests. Why to play in this scenario? What would you play? Based on what you'd have just heard. Not to just auto-respond to what your opponents are doing. Try to create threats of your own. We need to understand the box method. No, what would you play for white in this scenario? How many persons here would play this move? King to g2. It's like white right now is under serious pressure. He made some mistakes earlier, ruined his king side, and now he has to defend like Magnus Carlsen. Two pieces are now putting pressure on that f3 pawn. Would he play passive with king to g2 or is there better? Remember, we always try our best to look further in chess. I'm going to be giving the answer no. If you guys found this move, knight to d5, excellent defending. And why? We understand that By us putting our king on g2, it doesn't change anything. Like, how is white's position any more dangerous than it was before? I only think of defensive moves when I'm running out of options for my aggressive ones. When somebody attacks you, your first instinct can't be to just react. You have to look for counter strikes. This is how you fight back. And remember, the higher you climb up the ladder in terms of your ratings, the more you're going to have to do this. All right? You get punished a lot more the higher you go up. So king to g2, this makes black's life 15 times easier. Pieces are still putting pressure and he could develop a lot more. Now, with this move, knight to d5, the thing is, if black doesn't play passive, if black tries queen takes f3 and takes the pawn that he, so-called wanted, we're going to be forking his king and his rook and collecting a whole piece, right? All I want you guys to do is to switch your mindsets, all right? So here, you're supposed to see that your pawn is under attack. Understand that I need to be playing aggressive moves. And aggressive moves can start off with putting pieces into that area. And the thing is, we also need to start looking to kick pieces from ours. If the queen goes back, then we play pawn to b3. I'm just like, all right, this crossed my path, kick it out. And if you realize, we're going to have like a big Uno reverse here, where white is the one putting pressure on black. Simply because we activated our pieces. We played active. We didn't just sit and defend it passively. Instead of black having so many pieces attacking us, the reverse happened and we're now the one attacking black. Right? Just again, if he defends the pawn, then bishop to e3. We're now putting more pressure. We're pointing pieces into that area. This is how we're going to be outplaying our opponents. Take some notes. We're getting into the next one, guys. I hope you guys are really following. Same thing, guys. If this is taken, that is again just a one move idea. Let's just put this again, knight to d5. If knight takes f3, it is again a one move idea. The minute we simply move our king, this queen cannot guard c7 and this knight at all. So it's just going to be a complete piece. The minute he defends c7, we're going to be taking on f3, and we're absolutely winning. 3 pieces active while black is packing up for the next game. Practice more of this in your games, and we're going to be continuing. Let's go. Persons just watch videos because they like watching chess stuffs. But for persons who are really trying to improve, take some notes. So here, we always check for moves in our opponent's side of the board if we're trying to really play super aggressive chess. So I'm looking for moves like rook takes h3, rook takes rook, knight takes here. Like, we check those because they are super aggressive. In my actual chess game, I'll be looking at bishop to e7 and I'm like, all right, that's a natural move. But does my forcing moves work? Everybody knows when there are actual tactics in chess, unprotected pieces, or remember, when there's a vulnerable king. When there is a potential check in the position, we can actually check it. Tactics could be available. This is why we need pieces pointing into that area of the board. For your chess games, cover up your blind spots. Remember, it's a different thing to actually know something and actually master. For persons who are genuinely looking to improve, don't just watch the video, implement this. It starts off somewhere and then it just gets a lot better, guys. All right, next up. Now let's see who is actually keeping up with my channel. So it's white to play here. What would you play? Now, everybody understands that counterattacking is a part of active play. You can't just see somebody attack your piece and you're like, oh my god, my queen, let me run away. You have to understand that there are levels to chess. And if you're looking to level up your gameplay, you have to start thinking differently. If you're reacting, that is a lot of defensive play. You don't get chances to actually do what you want in chess. So it's white to play here. I need you guys to find 2 moves that don't involve moving this queen anywhere, and it cannot be to take this knight either. So you guys need to tell me two other moves that can be played as a candidate, or what you're considering. It can't be to move the queen, and you can't take the knight. What other two moves could white play to keep this game going? Alright, I'm going to be giving the answer now. You could pause the video. So if you found pawn to c6, which is a counter-attack on the queen, that's how higher rated players think. It's not the best move. It doesn't work. But if somebody attacks the queen, you're like, alright, he attacks my queen. Can I perform a counter-attack? Can I attack his queen instead? See? That's one. That's how you come up again with aggressive moves. The second one is rook to d1, which basically pins the knight to the queen. Switch your mindset, guys. It's going to elevate your gameplay so much. You're going to be so shocked. The minute you catch this, next level, guys. If your queen is taken, then rook takes queen, and we're attacking more pawns in our opponent's side. Like, guys, just do this. Do this. Don't just watch it. Do it. We are forcing our opponents to respond to us. That's how you take control in chess. Right? For me, the minute I discovered this again, you just have to implement it. Don't play average. Look to actually outplay your opponents on a daily basis. You just have to train the skill and things just get better, guys. Alright? Then if he plays e6, you could start putting a lot more pressure on the knight and so forth, so forth. Switch your mindset. Have passive pieces, make them active. Don't react. Put pieces into aggressive formation. Let things attack into this area of the board. Alright, we're going to be going into some more details. Stick around. For extremely low rated viewers, when I'm telling you guys to actually put pieces in your opponent's side of the board, just to clarify some stuffs, I don't mean this. Even though this crosses that area of the board, if you can't keep that piece over there, it's not worth it. You want good squares for your pieces. And again, you need to know your fundamentals, like knights like outposts, bishops like open diagonals. You can't just be putting a knight on a square where it can easily be kicked, and then you have to go back to where you're coming from. You need squares that you can actually just control. Like once you put the piece there, it's going to be very hard for your opponent to move that piece. And again, there's a lot of ways in which you could do this. For the box technique, you need to, again, remove pieces from your area of the board or try to neutralize pieces from attacking in your area. It could look like this. Bishop to e3. Let me just make like a random move for black. Let's say it goes here. Bishop to e3. You neutralize the piece. And got this. We have an open file for our rook. It's just the simple stuff that are going to be getting you guys to good heights. You could play moves like knight to d5. You could even let's make like some random moves. Let's move like the rook. It's a bad move, and I think you guys know why it's a bad move. It does nothing. Like this does not activate the rook. I would see persons move their rook, and I'm like, why did you do this? And I'm like, I'm improving the rook. It has to be attacking something or having the potential to be a very attacking piece. Not because you moved the rook from its starting square doesn't mean that you activated it. Now this queen to e1, let's just make another move. Could just simply aim at putting pressure on that area of the board. Let's just make another move. Knight to g5. Everything is over there. The queen, the knight, the queen, this is incoming, rook is incoming. Everything is over there, guys. But you get aggressive positions the minute you start thinking about putting your pieces in that direction and again, neutralizing pieces from attacking into yours. White doesn't have to worry about attacking or getting attacked here because nothing is really putting pressure on this area of the board. Right? Maybe we have to like watch out for some knight moves, but that's it. Apply this. I'm going to be showing one last thing before we end this, but I really hope that you guys took some notes. Let's get right into it. Now, at the lower levels, a lot of madness happens. One of my students was basically playing the Karukan, and his opponent hit him with f4 and knight f3. And this is where most persons collapse when their opponent starts doing a lot of weird stuffs. And that's the thing, which is the reason why you can't rely on memorizing. You have to use understanding, guys. Your skill in chess. White is putting a lot of pressure on f7. What would you guys play in this scenario? What is your thought process? You could pause the video. I'm going to be giving what black played in this game. Now, it's very good that you see that this pawn is under attack. e6 is indeed the best move, but in the game, bishop to g4 counterattack was tried instead. And this is what separates persons who are staying stuck from the ones who are improving. You have to level up your thinking. This is what helped me. This is what I'm again explaining to you guys that you could actually implement in your games to really start seeing true growth. Bishop to g4 here. All he's saying is that that's a pawn. But what is going to protect the queen after? The queen is basically boxed in. In the game, his opponent just saw bishop to e2 unblocked, which absolutely gave black a -1 advantage, or 0.9 according to Stockfish. Counterattack. Somebody attacked you, he didn't respond. He took some extra time because remember again, guys, these moves are not natural. You have to take some time and work on the skill until it becomes you. So bishop to g4, and yeah, was really impressed when I saw this. Stockfish doesn't like it because of queen takes g4, which is absolutely insane. There are levels to this, guys. And after knight takes, then bishop takes f7, and Stockfish is saying that this is somewhat of a draw. Based on the level that this guy's at, I mean, even if he sacked his queen, it would have probably still lost. But this in general is what I'm looking for. Persons on YouTube, ensure that you're implementing this or trying your best. Just ensure that you're not sticking to bad habits that are keeping you stuck. If you found this video useful, just like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, guys. Really appreciate the support. See you again another time. Take care.